Questions 1 through 10 on the 2007 Grade 12 AMC 12A. One ticket to a show costs $20 at full price. Susan buys 4 tickets using a coupon that gives her a 25% discount. Pam buys 5 tickets using a coupon that gives a 30% discount. How many more dollars does Pam pay than Susan? So Susan is buying 4 tickets, and she's going to pay 75% of the price because her discount is 25%. And the ticket is $20. So she is paying a total of $60. Pam is buying 5 tickets, and she is going to pay 70% of the total price because her discount is 30%, and the ticket is the same price, $20. So she pays $70. How many more dollars does Pam pay than Susan? Well, it looks like $10. So number 1, the answer is C. An aquarium has a rectangular base that measures 100 by 40 and has a height of 50. It is filled with water to a height of 40. A brick with a rectangular base that measures 40 by 20 by 10 is placed in the aquarium. By how many centimeters does the water rise? This is a diagram representing the aquarium, and the dimensions are 100 by 40 at the base, and the height is 50, total height. And they're saying that the aquarium is filled only to a height of 40, so until about there. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now we need to calculate the volume of the water. So that's going to be 40 times 100 times 40, and that is equal to 160,000. Then they throw this brick inside, and that of course will make the water level rise a little bit. That brick is 40 times 20 times 10. So that is 8,000. So to figure out how much the height rises, we have to add these two, and that is 168,000. And that's going to be equal to the base, which stays the same, of the aquarium, times the new height, h. And if you solve for h here, you will get 42. So initially, the water level was 40. Once you threw in that brick, it rose to 42. So how much did it rise by? 2 centimeters. So therefore, number 2, the answer is D. The larger of 2 consecutive odd integers is 3 times the smaller. What is their sum? Consecutive odd integers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on, right? Well, they're saying that you have 2 of these, and 1 is 3 times the other. Well, 7 and 9, 9 is obviously not 3 times. 5 and 7, 7 is not 3 times 5. But if you go all the way to the extreme and just look at the first 2, 3 is indeed 3 times 1. So those are our consecutive integers, and their sum is 4. So number 3, the answer is A. Kate rode her bicycle for 30 minutes at a speed of 16 miles per hour. Then walked for 90 minutes at a speed of 4 miles per hour. What was her overall speed in miles per hour? So on her bike, she rides for 30 minutes, which is a half an hour, and it's 16 miles per hour, her speed. So in terms of how many miles, 16 miles per hour times half an hour, and that is 8 miles. And then when she walks, she, in the question, is going for 90 minutes, so that's 1.5 hours, and her speed walking is 4 miles per hour. So in terms of her distance, it's 4 miles per hour times 1.5 hours, and that is 6 miles. So her total distance is 8 plus 6, which is 14 miles, and her total time is a half plus 1.5, which is 2 hours. And since speed is equal to distance over time, this is going to give me my speed, and that is 7 miles per hour. So number 4, The answer is A. Last year, Mr. John Q. Public received an inheritance. He paid 20% in federal taxes on inheritance and paid 10% on what he had left in state taxes. He paid a total of $10,500 for both taxes. How many dollars was the inheritance? Initially, he pays 20% of his inheritance. Let the inheritance be X, and that is the federal tax. Then what he has left is X minus 0.2, which is 0.8. This is what he has left. On this, he pays 10% for the state tax. And they're telling you that the state tax plus the federal tax is equal to $10,500. All right, so this will allow me to solve for X. So that is 0.2 plus 0.1 times 0.8x is equal to 10,500, like that. So 0.2 plus, this is going to be 0.08x is equal to 10,500. So that's 0.2x is equal to 10,500, and solving for x, we get 37,500. So number 5, the answer is D. Triangle ABC and ADC are isosceles with AB equal to BC and AD equal to DC. Point D is inside ABC. ABC is 40 and ADC is 140. What is the degree measure of BAD? This is our diagram. Here is A, here is B and C, and they tell me that AB is equal to BC. And ABC, this angle in here, is 40 degrees. Then they give me another point, D, and we create another triangle inside. And AD is equal to DC. And they tell me that ADC is 140. All right, and then they want me to figure out BAD, so this angle, I'll call it X. Okay, so first and foremost, we'll do this in any order. I'll just do this triangle first. This is the same as this, right? It's an isosceles triangle. So that means that 2 theta plus 140 is equal to 180. So that means 2 theta is equal to 40, and theta is therefore equal to 20. So there we go. And then in a very similar way, that angle and that angle are the same. We can call them anything you want, theta 2, I guess. And therefore theta 2 plus theta 2 is equal to 180, and I have to add 40 there. So 40 plus 2 theta, theta 2 that is, 180, and therefore 2 theta 2 is equal to 140, and theta 2 is equal to 70. So to get x, x is obviously theta 2 minus theta, and that is going to be 70 minus 20, which is 50 degrees. So number 6, the answer is D. Let A, B, C, D, and E be 5 consecutive terms in an arithmetic sequence, and suppose that A plus B plus C plus D plus E is equal to 30. Which of the following can be found? A, B, C, D, and E, and they are consecutive terms in an arithmetic sequence, so that means they are of the form A plus A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and A plus 4D, like that. Now they tell you that if you add them all up, it equals 30. So let's see what we get here. That's 5A plus 10D, and that equals 30. So if you divide through by 5, you get A plus 2D is equal to 6. So A plus 2D I can get a numerical value for without knowing the individual values for A and D. So A plus 2D represents C, and that is the term that I can find the value of. So number 7, the answer is C. A star polygon is drawn on a clock face by drawing a chord from each number to the fifth number counted clockwise from that number. That is, chords are drawn from 12 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 3, and so on, ending back at 12. What is the degree measure of the angle at each vertex in the star polygon? So let's draw a circle, and we're going to label, this is a clock, right? So 12, 6, 3, 9, and then 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So let's start drawing this. So let's see here. We start at 12, we go to 5, right? We're going to every fifth one. So from 5, we're going to go to 10. And then from 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, to 3. And then from 3, we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And then from 8, you're going to go to 1. And then from 1, you're going to go to 6. 6 to 11. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 4. 4 to 9. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 to 2. 2 to 7. And then finally 7 to 12. There we go. That's my wonderful shape. All right, so they want you to figure out what is the degree measure of any of these angles. They're all obviously the same. Okay, how do I do that? Well, it can be done very simply or in a very confusing way. I'll avoid the confusing way for obvious reasons. I wanted to draw that diagram just to let you know what it looks like. But the good news is that you don't really need the full diagram to solve this question. You just need a little bit of it. So this is all I think I need. You really only need to do this once. From 12, I go to 5. And from 5, I go to 10. Correct? And that's all you need. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to draw the center of the circle. So it's approximately here, like that. And there is a rule that if you draw an angle from 2 points, and my 2 points in this question are going to be 12 and 10. So I'll circle those because I'm only concentrating on those 2 points. If you draw an angle from any 2 points to the center of the circle, so like this, that represents a certain angle, and it's exactly double the angle there. So if you take those same 2 points and draw lines all the way to the other end of the circle like that, that angle will be half of this angle right here. That's a rule. So let's concentrate first on 2 theta. 2 theta represents the angle that covers this distance from 10 to 12. When you go from 10 to 12, it's basically 1/6 of the full circumference. So therefore this angle is 1/6 of the full angle all the way around. And all the way around is 360. So there you go. That 2 theta is 360 divided by 6, which is 60 degrees. And therefore theta is 30 degrees. So there's a quick way of figuring out this question without having to deal with this mess right here. So number 8, the answer is 30, which is choice C. Yan is somewhere between his home and the stadium. To get to the stadium, he can walk directly to the stadium, or else he can walk home and then ride his bicycle to the stadium. He rides 7 times as fast as he walks, and both choices require the same amount of time. What is the ratio of Yan's distance from his home to his distance from the stadium? So Yan is somewhere, I don't know where he is, let's just say he's there, and the home is here and the stadium is here. So he's got a couple choices. The first choice is to just walk to the stadium, walking, W. The other choice is to go home first, walking, and then get on his bike and ride all the way to the stadium, like that. And both of these require the same amount of time. So here we go. Speed is equal to distance over time, and therefore time is equal to distance over speed. So the first scenario, we have this one right here, where he's just walking. So that is distance, which I will call, well, I haven't labeled the distances. From here to here, I'll just call that y. Or actually, let's not use y, because yan is y. So we'll just call it anything you want, m. And then, well, actually, I'll call it stadium. And then this one I'll call n. So what they're really asking for in the question is, what is the ratio of Yan's distance from his home to his distance from the stadium? So in the end, we're going to have to find n over m. Okay, so let's go with this formula right here. Time is equal to distance over s. When he's walking, his distance is m, and his speed I'll denote by just w. Speed when he's walking. And they tell you that's equal to the other scenario, which is going home and then coming back by bike. That time is in two components. The first component is when he's walking back home to get the bike, and that's n over w. And then once he gets on his bike and goes all the way to the stadium, that distance is n plus m over the speed that he rides the bike. But they tell you that it's 7 times as fast as he walks. So basically it's 7w. All right? So this is the mathematical equation that will be used to solve for n over m. We can multiply top and bottom by 7 to get a common denominator everywhere. And therefore, that denominator is the same, so we can just deal with the numerators. And if you solve, you get the following. You get 8n is equal to 6m. And if you isolate for n over m, this is 6 over 8, which is 3 over 4. So number 9, the answer is B. The triangle with sides, lengths in the ratio 3, 4, 5 is inscribed in a circle of radius 3. What is the area of the triangle? So let's draw a circle, and then we'll draw a triangle, 3, 4, 5. Now, the reason I was confident that one of the sides represents the diameter is because 3, 4, 5 is Pythagoras in terms of its relationship. If this is 3x, that's 4x, and that's 5x, that is obviously a Pythagorean relationship. If you're in grade 12, you definitely should know that by now. And that's a right angle. Any triangle that's drawn in a circle that has a right angle like this, that means this side represents the diameter. So that means 5x is the diameter. And diameter, of course, is equal to 2 times the radius. They tell you that the radius is equal to 3. So therefore, solving for x, you get x is equal to 6 over 5. Now the area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base you can use 3x. The height you can use 4x. And if you do, you get 12x squared over 2, so that's 6x squared. And then x, we just figured out, was 6 over 5. So there you go. That's the numerical value for the area. And in decimal, that is 8.64. So number 10, the answer is A.